The topic of this presentation is what makes homework effective. I chose this topic because it just stuck out to me as a major part of mathematics classes. I've never had a math class without homework, and when I started to think about it, I realized that if I were to assign homework for a class, I wouldn't know where to start. So, my goal in researching effective homework is to provide myself with information that I can apply, with justification, when the time does come for me to assign homework. When I say effective homework, I mean homework that promotes learning. And one quality that makes homework effective is that it involves cognitively demanding content. Too often, homework is too easy for some students and too hard for others. When homework's too easy, it's not engaging. When homework is too hard, it's not accessible to students. In both cases, students are engaging in little mathematical thinking, which does not support student learning. One way to address this problem with cognitive demand is by differentiating the tasks. Some ways that we can do this are through the use of parallel tasks, open tasks, and by grouping students into readiness groups. We also need to consider other obstacles to accessing the mathematics of homework. An obstacle that I witnessed in Clark County schools was that a student whose first language was Spanish didn't understand a task's directions until her friend explained it to her in Spanish. So be aware of your students' needs and adjust the task accordingly, just like you would in class. Now that we've discussed the idea of cognitively demanding homework, here are some practical suggestions in creating tasks. If you're starting from scratch, regular textbook problems can be a good place to start and then modify. One type of task to use in effective homework is asking students to critique a solution that you provide. Another is to ask students to sort problems into categories and justify their choices. And a third idea is to have students create problems with characteristics that you decide need to be in the problem. Something to be wary of is providing homework with too much cognitive demand. Tasks that would be classified as doing mathematics are not appropriate for homework. As I've mentioned before, asking too much of students for homework can be discouraging and hinder student learning. Also, consider the time involved in homework for both student and teacher. Getting bogged down in homework can also be discouraging for students. You also need to make sure that you give yourself enough time to provide quality feedback to students. A second quality that makes homework effective is that the homework process is explicit. The teacher needs to explicitly describe what the goals and expectations of the homework are. This includes the use of resources, which could be, is technology allowed? Can I work together? And also describing the roles of the teacher, students, and other adults in the homework process. An important part of the homework process is that it involves more than turning in an assignment. Effective homework supports learning, and one way to do that is by providing quality feedback to students, feedback that can help improve their understanding of the mathematics. Additionally, students should be given opportunities to reflect on their feedback. Otherwise, students might not do so on their own, which defeats the purpose of feedback in the first place. Earlier, I mentioned that teachers should explicitly describe the role of parents and other adults, provided that students have use of this resource. Since it's unlikely that parents will always understand the mathematics of homework, they can ask questions relating to the strategy and problem solving of homework to help their student if they're struggling. Parents can also promote the effectiveness of homework by creating a productive environment by doing things such as creating an area for homework, having high expectations for their students, and establishing homework as a priority within their household. Similarly to how we discussed practical suggestions with cognitive demand, here are some for making the processes of homework more explicit. One suggestion is to provide students with a structure to reflect on feedback, such as questions to respond to, including, do you understand the feedback, or how can you use this feedback to improve your understanding? Another suggestion is to create a reference handout for students and parents that includes what resources are acceptable for use in homework and what to do if a student is struggling. So, to review, two qualities that make homework effective are that the homework is cognitively demanding to students and that the processes concerning homework are explicit. This includes being mathematically engaging to all students and understanding that homework is more than just the assigned task. I hope that you found this informative and useful. Thank you.